thank you, Gilbert, for your introduction. Forbidden Spirits Distillery is a local craft distillery that I started about 3 years ago. We put together about 75 investors who put together $4.1 million, and we started an operation here in Kelowna, BC. And in 2019, we came out with our first product, which is a 25 times distilled REBEL Vodka made from 100% BC apples. Normally, vodka is made from either wheat or potatoes. Some distilleries make their vodka out of other products as well. We have an abundance of apples here in Kelowna, BC. So, and we live on an apple farm, so it was an easy choice for us. As I said, we started this about 2 years ago. It was myself knocking on doors, taking our bottle from restaurant to restaurant, from private liquor store to private liquor store. And we did about $200,000 in sales our first year of myself just knocking on doors in 2019. Last year, we hired an outside liquor agent who has 9 saleswomen and 2 salesmen that blanket all of British Columbia. And they were able to increase sales substantially from where I started to $500,000 for the last 6 months of last year. And our projections for this year are to hit $4 million in sales and to expand our operation outside British Columbia and have sales and operations in Alberta and Ontario. And you can see here on this slide here, just shows you just how big the marketplace is in Canada. It's an enormous marketplace globally, but it's even a large marketplace in Canada. Last year in British Columbia, our province alone, there was $600,000 worth of vodka sold each and every day. So $600,000 a day in vodka sales just for British Columbia. Alberta was $500,000 Canadian dollars per day in vodka. And Ontario has the lead with $1.6 million of vodka sold each and every day. So you can see that the potential for our growth is quite substantial. Our growth plan, originally when I built this first distillery, which cost us about $4 million to build, I was going to get it to capacity in British Columbia, then go to Calgary, open up another distillery, get it to capacity, Ontario, spend another $5 million, get it to capacity. And then as we started running and our business started to take off, it came to the board of directors idea that instead of us spending another $5 million in CapEx to have our product manufactured by ourselves in Alberta, we would co-pack it and outsource it to private craft distillers. So in Canada right now, there's about 150 craft distillers that have a massive excess capacity. They're only running their still 2 or 3 days a week. So we've been able to go into them. You know, we know it costs us about $8 a bottle to produce our REBEL Vodka. We're going to contract with them and pay them $10 a bottle to manufacture it for us with a 20% margin attached to it. The craft distillers that we've been talking to are very happy and looking forward to us working with them. And from our standpoint, you know, not only do we save the $4 to $5 million in CapEx, but we also save our overhead costs, our operational costs, and it'll allow us to ramp up our sales a lot faster than we normally would if we had to wait a year to build a new facility. Here's some of our product line. Our product line has grown considerably in the last 2 years. We came out originally with our REBEL Vodka, which is 25 times distilled. And to put that in perspective, Smirnoff vodka is 3 times distilled, and Grey Goose vodka is about 6 or 7 times distilled. So 25 times distilled vodka made from apples is a lot smoother, cleaner, and easier to drink. And they say less of a hangover as well. We also came out with a Forbidden Spirits vodka that is 50 times distilled. And so that's pretty much unheard of in the vodka industry. It's a very exclusive brand. It has the Garden of Eden and gorgeous imprints baked right onto the glass. It's got bits of real gold that's actually also embedded onto the glass. So it's a very popular item that we have. Adam's Apple Brandy. We came out with Adam's Apple Brandy last Christmas. It sold very well. And just recently, we came out with a gin called Eve's Original Gin. And our Eve's Gin is now outselling our REBEL Vodka 3 to 1. And I wish I could say it's because we have a great gin. We do. We have a very good gin, but it's just the macro demand for gin in North America is almost insatiable. We're working on 2 other key products right now, a REBEL Vodka and Soda in a can, and an Eve's Gin and Tonic in a can. We're looking to have those products out for the summer of this year. We just recently launched, or just recently in the process of launching those products. So my $4 million projection for sales this year and $8 million projection for sales next year don't include the gin and tonic and the ready to drink products. We're also in talks with some Chinese importers and distributors as well to make a version of the vodka soda and the gin and tonic available for that marketplace. It would have slightly different alcohol by volume levels and slightly different sweetness levels, and we're designing it specifically for the Asian marketplace. One of the other products we came out with recently as well is whiskey. There's a huge demand for whiskey, so you know, we've got the facilities here. We've got the barley here in Canada, and we can convert that into a whiskey. So we've got some fairly intriguing whiskey programs, and we're getting some good traction in other markets as well. One of the other, you know, why invest in Forbidden Spirits now? That's a good question. My wife and I were over in Beijing and Shanghai in December of 2019, but before the whole COVID hit, meeting with the buyers in Shanghai, and we've got purchase orders from distributors and suppliers in Kunming, China. We met with in 2019, so we've been working with them through COVID to re-energize our relationship with them. We were also over in Germany in 2019 and met with the brokers and representatives for a company called Carrefour, and I'd never heard of the company before, but it's a multinational European company and Quebecois company as well too. They've got 600 stores in Romania, and we're working with them right now to supply them with gin and vodka to Romania. And back to this slide, I apologize for digressing. The advantage they have to do business with us is twofold. One, Canada has a free trade agreement with a lot more companies than our American counterparts do. And the American shipping into Romania and any of the EU countries and a lot of the Asian countries are subject to a 25% tariff. Ours are a zero tariff and our free trade. And as well, you know, when we sell our bottle of REBEL Vodka for $42, that's what it retails for. It's $42 Canadian, not $42 US. So there's a foreign exchange advantage there as well. I'll just flip through some of these slides. We're also very fortunate that we operate in a business model that's incredibly profitable. Our gross profit margins are around 50% for this year. And 25% net income margins. And that's under the industry average. The industry average gross profit margin in the alcohol spirits business is closer to 60%, and the net income margin is closer to 30%. So, you know, as we expand and buy more glass and buy more tops, we'll be able to grow our gross profit margin. There you can see, you know, I've got projections laid out for 2021 of 4.14 million and 8.53 million for the following year. And as I said, that doesn't include the sales of our ready-to-drink can products, which we're coming out with. Our go-to-market strategy, you can see how, you know, we're a small company, but growing rapidly. Our projections for this year is to sell 3,000 cases into British Columbia. 1,000 cases into, and our cases are 6-packs, so they're smaller, into Alberta, Ontario. As I said, Kunming, China has, we have a purchase agreement with them. It's just for one container now to start for 640 cases, but we're hopeful that that will grow and gain traction as we supply into them. Romania has their 700 Carrefour stores that they're expanding into as well. I'll flip through these here just quickly. Our offering, oops, one more. There it is. Our offering right now is we're doing an amalgamation between our private company and Spartan Acquisition Corp, which is already a publicly traded entity, symbol VDKA.P on the Toronto Stock Exchange venture. The shares in VDKA are halted right now, pending the conclusion of the amalgamation between our distillery and the public company. And concurrent with that amalgamation, we said we would raise between $3.6 and $4.5 million. We're pretty much on track to close the $3.6 million tomorrow. But we've got sort of an over allotment excess capacity of $900,000 of investments that we'll be allowed to take. That'll take us up to the 4.5 million. We're looking for strategic investors that will not only invest in the company, but can possibly assist us with referrals and introductions to international companies and international importers and distributors that want to partner with us and represent our brand in various countries and in various cities. So there's an opportunity there. The pricing of that is of that offering is a 30-cent share and a half a warrant at 50 cents. So it puts the pre-money valuation of our company at about $12 million, or three times this year's sales and 1.5 times next year's sales. So it's very actively and aggressively priced. Let's go one more there. There's a little bit more of the detail. Spartan Acquisition Corp, which is the publicly traded TSX listed company, will have 4.7 million shares. It'll combine with Forbidden Spirits 40 million shares, and then we will either offer the minimum 12 million shares, which we're going to complete on tomorrow. We're very close to having it all, the entire 3.6 million raised, or give us another opportunity for another week or 2 weeks to raise up to 4.5 million and have 15 million shares outstanding. That would put the total combined post-money number of shares outstanding at 57 million shares, of which management and insiders own 41% of the stock. So once the amalgamation has been approved by the Toronto Stock Exchange and the concurrent financing has been complete, it's going to be a very tight company. And we're extremely hopeful that the share price will increase accordingly to reflect on all our growth potentials. That's about it for myself, Gilbert.
Thank you, Blair. So there's a few questions from the audience here. So the first one is coming from Mia. She's asking, did COVID affect your business at all?
You know, I'm just going to move the slide there. We were very fortunate and lucky when COVID hit. Like most employers, I sadly had to lay off everybody on staff so that they could get in line for unemployment insurance. And so we were closed down for 2 weeks while I sort of walked the distillery floor with my master distiller, looking at everything turned off, and tried to figure out what we could do. And my background is Scottish, so I'm a little bit frugal. And in the production process of making alcohol, it's a batch system. So when your vodka flows off the still, the first bit of vodka that flows off is called the heads, and the last little bit is called the tails. And you don't really want to use your heads and tails in your vodka. You want to remove those out so that you're left with just the hearts, and that's what goes into your vodka. So we had all these heads and tails sitting in 1,000-liter totes outside of the distillery. And as my master distiller and I were walking around scratching our heads, I was looking at this, and it's like, you see heads and tails, but what I saw was 70% alcohol that we could transform via the World Health Organization's recipe into hand sanitizer. So we quickly got to work, retooled our factory a little bit, called all our workers back to work, and started to manufacture hand sanitizer. The very first day, the problem at the time was you couldn't get enough containers for the hand sanitizer. Everybody in the entire world was buying toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So we said, look, we'll give it away for free if you can come and bring your own container. So we had 1,000 cars lined up outside the distillery as we were giving away free hand sanitizer. The RCMP police came by around 1 o'clock and shut us down and said it's a traffic hazard. And so what we said after that was, we said, okay, we want to continue to do this. The community needs hand sanitizer. We've got lots of it. we put a thing on our website basically saying for $10 you can buy a place in line to get your free hand sanitizer. So we sold 300 places in line in 20 minutes. And the very next Saturday we had 300 cars outside, and we picked a charity to donate the money to. So we did 10 sanitizer Saturdays in a row and donated about $30,000 or $40,000 to different local charities. So, you know, it was a win-win for everybody. And then after that 10 weeks, we were able to secure plastic coming in from Asia in order to actually put our hand sanitizer in a sellable format. But and we were able to weather the storm. The other side of that question as well too is, you know, for us, we were lucky. About 95% of our sales goes to private liquor stores. Only about 5% of our sales went to restaurants, pubs, and golf courses. So the effect of the restaurants being shut down hardly affected us at all. It was, you know, we've had such a small amount going to restaurants, where the bulk of our sales is through our government liquor stores.
Yeah, interesting. So this quick question coming from T-Jazz here. Do you have any proprietary recipe that the other distilleries cannot replicate?
That's a very good question, because we're co-packing our vodka with a number of other smaller craft distilleries, whereby, you know, we'll send them the apple juice concentrate. Our glass manufacturer will ship them the empty glass, the empty corks, the tops, and we'll give them our recipe to make our vodka. But part of our recipe to make our vodka is based on a proprietary brand of yeast. So yeast plus sugar equals alcohol. So we'll ship out our yeast in plain white plastic buckets that only we have the recipe for. So they'll be able to use our yeast freely and easily, but at the same time we'll be able to maintain control and ownership and, you know, our intellectual property rights over that yeast strain. Prior to operation, we were lucky to get some government grants that allowed us to do scientific research and expense some of those costs early on to develop the yeast. And to put it into perspective on how effective our yeast is, and this is only from maybe a manufacturing geek like myself, normally it takes about 14 days to ferment alcohol, and you usually get about a 10% alcohol by volume yield. We've been able, with our yeast, we've been able to get the 14 days down to 6, and also get our alcohol volume up to about 12%. So it's not only does it create a better tasting vodka, but it's more cash flow conducive as well.
Sure. So that's for the last question here from Joe here. How will you market your brands? Must be quite a competitive market.
It is competitive, and of the $3.6 million that we just raised, $1.8 million is going to be earmarked for advertising and promotion and brand launching here in this year, and $1.8 million will be set aside for next year. You know, we've got a number of unique ways in which we market and promote our product. One of the most effective ways is in-store tasting. In the summertime, we hire university students. You know, we pay them $25 an hour. They go into the different liquor stores for 4 hours, and they basically pour out free samples of our REBEL Vodka for people to taste. And as people are coming through the liquor store, they're going over to the vodka aisle, and they may be grabbing a Grey Goose, or they may be grabbing a Smirnoff. As they walk by our university students that are putting out tasters, they're saying, "Hey, have you tried our REBEL Vodka? You know, made in Canada from apples, 25 times distilled." People are saying, "Yeah, I'll give it a try." And you know, as soon as we can get the liquid on the lips, you know, the product is sold. And you know, our focus as well is on the entire experience. So you know, being from British Columbia and based in Kelowna, Kelowna is the Napa Valley of Canada. You know, there must be 75 or 80 wineries within a half an hour drive of our facility here. So we get a lot of tourists coming into our town, trying our products, going back to different parts of the world, and expanding our brand. So, you know, we've got a multinational brand that can sell in any country, well, not any country, but most countries in the world that allow alcohol to be sold.
Sure. Looks like exciting times ahead for you and your company, Blair.
You know, it really is, and I can't underestimate the potential of our ready-to-drink product in a can. You know, that I think part of that was due to the COVID. People are, you know, wanting to have a sealed product that they can open themselves and they don't have to mix. And the ease of use, taking it on your boat, taking it to your cabin, taking it to the beach, just makes it easy to consume. And for us as well too, we're making it with a high quality vodka to begin with and a high quality gin. So our brands are at the ultra premium level.
Sure. So thank you for being here with us today, Blair. I will let you go, and we'll talk until next time.
Great. Thank you very much, Gilbert. If I can add one more thing, if anybody wants to send me an email, blair@forbiddenspirits.ca, I'd be happy to send you out some free samples of our product to taste test yourself.
Sure. Thank you for that information. We'll spread it out as well. Thank you, Blair.
Thank you very much.